Redskins.com here at the NFL Combine, joined by NFL Network's Daniel and Jeremiah. And Daniel, before I get into some Redskins position needs, I want to talk about the NFL Combine as a whole. You've been doing so many of these.
Yeah.
Do they all run together? Does each one have its own unique personality?
Well, they all have the different flavor to it. There's no question. I've been coming here, I think, since my first one was maybe '01, so it's been a few years now. But you always have some years you got positional strength on one side of the ball. The next year it can switch, and this has been kind of unique because I feel like we're in this running back run here for the last couple of years. We've seen just so much depth at that position, so that's been a little bit of a recent trend here.
So let's go off that. The Redskins have expressed, Jay Gruden, even Doug Williams this week, talked a lot about needing another piece to that running backs group. What do you see as a guy that could actually fit? Because they've got a lot of third down backs, a lot of 1-2 first and second down backs.
Yeah. I think you look for combination backs, and like Darius Geis from LSU, he fits the mold. He can do everything that you want to do. He's got enough size to run with power inside. He's got the speed to get outside and hit a home run, and then he can catch the ball out of the backfield a little bit if you want him to do that, although that's still a little bit of a work in progress for him. Rashad Penny from San Diego State hit a great workout here. He was awesome at the Senior Bowl and ultra productive there at San Diego State. I think he's probably in that second round range right now. I mean, there is a laundry list. There's a lot of dudes at that spot that I think could come in and help the Redskins.
Does it help with a guy like Rashad Penny, who has a lot of special teams background, to bump him up to second round, or is that something that helps a lot of running backs when they have that extra hybrid, ability?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you always want to have a floor for a player, and so when I look at a guy like Penny, the floor for him is he's your kickoff returner day one, and he can be a Pro Bowl player at that position. So that's where the floor starts. It means you're not going to miss on the guy. Even if it doesn't work out at the running back position, you know he has a role on your football team. He's going to dress on Sundays and contribute. So that's a good place to start with him. But then, to me, just looking at his skill set and everything he can do, I don't think it'll be long before you say, we don't want him returning kicks anymore. We want him lined up in the backfield.
We did see the running backs on the field today. Was anybody different than what you might have expected on the field at all, or everyone kind of going what you thought?
Well, the two Georgia backs with Sony Michel and Nick Chubb are two of my favorite players to study, but I had guys tell me throughout the process, hey, Chubb might be faster than Michel. Get out of here. Michel is much faster, and sure enough, Chubb gets out here, jumps 38.5 inches, ran like a 4.52, ended up running a little bit faster than Michel even. So he's been kind of the forgotten guy here, so I thought he had a good day.
Yeah. Let's go to defense, and I know the Redskins have some question marks at middle linebacker right now with Zach Brown, Will Compton. Some of those guys haven't re-signed or will be hitting free agency. Roquan Smith is kind of the tasty guy right now. Everyone's excited about him. Is that at the top of your board in terms of middle linebacker?
For me, it's Tremaine Edmonds. You wouldn't have to go far to get him either. There at Virginia Tech, he's 6'4", 250 pounds. He's got 34-inch arms. He can run sideline to sideline. He's 19 years old. So, I mean, he's just becoming what he's going to become. And so he's the top inside linebacker for me. And then you've got Roquan, who just the range and the instincts that he has. Doesn't have that elite size that Edmonds does, but just a rock-solid football player. And I don't think far behind him is Rashaan Evans from Alabama. Not quite as instinctive, but a more explosive player. You watch him take on blocks, it's like watching a yard sale. You see stuff go flying everywhere. Just a real physical player.
Last year, first round, Redskins get Jonathan Allen. Does a really nice job in his first 5 games until he gets injured. Do you think going back defensive line, Vita Vea, Daron Payne, some of those guys are going to probably be available at number 13? A lot of the issues are, is he a three down guy? Where do you see Vita and Daron in that sense?
Well, I think both of them are ascending when it comes to what they can do as a pass rusher. They weren't asked to do it a ton. Both guys are excellent take-on defenders. They're excellent point-of-attack run defenders. But I think they both have the athleticism to be able to make things happen as a pass rusher. Given opportunities, let them play on an angle, on an edge, and get upfield. I think you've got some real upside there. I remember being in Baltimore when we drafted Haloti Ngata, and Vita Vea to me is a better version than Haloti. And trust me, I was doing the West Coast and we picked him. I love Haloti. He's had a fantastic career. This kid's got a real chance to be better.
Is there something at the Combine that you see with a guy like Vea where you say, I need to see this to really make sure that he's going to be suitable for all 3 downs?
Yeah, you're going to watch and see his explosive testing. I mean, he's 340 pounds. So anything he does above the line, when you're looking at where the averages are, is going to stand out to you. But, you're looking at, is he going to stay on the field on 3rd down? He's got to get out here and show some of that athleticism, which I think he will.
And last thing, you talked about your scouting background. And I've been talking to a lot of prospects about the 15-minute interviews that are so infamous this week. In terms of what you looked for when you were in those rooms in the hotel and looking and talking to players, what was specifically the thing that you wanted to find out about these guys?
Well, I want to get some personal stories, because you ask a generic question, you get a generic answer. Are you a leader? Yeah, I'm a leader. Are you tough? Of course, I'm tough. I like being able to say, okay, hey, give me an example of adversity you've had in your life off the field, how you overcame it. Give me an example of a time you've been on the football field and you've got the worst butt chewing you've ever got from a coach. What did he say to you? How did you respond? How'd you react? So, as a leader, give me an example. If you're a quarterback, tell me an example of your leadership showing up in the meeting room. What did you do with the team? So, getting those specific instances and specific stories, to me, I found valuable.
Is it possible for a player to blow you away in 15 minutes or?
Yeah, look, yeah, absolutely. You get in there and a guy can wow you, but you got to put it back in context. It's just nice. It's nice to leave that room after a 15-minute interview and say, okay, I don't need to worry about him. There's times guys leave and you're like, yeah, we need to bring him back in and bring him to the facility and see if we can learn about him. Sometimes that 15 minutes is up and you say, I know everything I need to know about this kid. We're good.